All right, so I'm here with Deusi today. He's going to be playing against Axis. Deusi is well known in the tournament community. He's a very good player, high level player that uses his brain and ability to interpret games and maps and other players to perform at such a high level. Deusi, thanks for coming out to do this video with me today.
Oh yeah, of course, it's an absolute pleasure.
And you also are a content creator yourself, so we'll get that linked below. Deusi has a lot of great content. You guys should go check him out. The
Thank you very
game
much.
today is going to be with Brunete. Why do you like this division so much right now, or why do you like playing it?
The thing is, it is quite a fast division in the opener, and still has strong tools for the mid and somewhat even for the late game. So you don't have this, reliance on either the early or the late game. You can basically play any time of the game and keep the initiative going. It's somewhat of a side grade to 5e, so you can, 5e isn't as good anymore, but back in the day, I wouldn't play 5e because it was so overpowered.
Hmm.
And so I kind of now play this as an alternative, even though I don't think a lot of people still consider 5e overpowered. So it actually is more of a side grade and not, a more ethical downgrade. Um, and
Interesting.
also, for some reason, DAA in this division just works so well for me, which is weird because nominally its AA should be bad, but somehow it just works for me. So
Okay.
I just have a lot of fun with the division and it works. And also the artillery tab has now gotten quite good in my opinion with the artillery rework.
Yeah, let's go into the diff a little bit. You start out, so you do two cards of supply and the one command. That's pretty standard. No,
Yeah, I know a
sometimes
lot of
people.
people like to run 3 supplies
Hmm.
with like all of the divisions, but I feel like after they introduced the option to turn off certain supplies, so mostly of
Yes.
course we turn off a few supply. I am mostly okay with running 2 cards of supplies. Sure, I might run out towards like the end to like last 5 minutes or something,
Hmm.
but at that point in the game, supplies don't matter as much in my opinion, and also you just don't really play that many games that last 40 minutes.
Right. Right.
So, in my opinion, it's more valuable to have 2 cards of supply, and especially because this slot would cost 3 activation points, which is just very expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times, if you're playing a 40-minute game, you're doing something wrong, and that's why you're missing out on the supply. So,
Yeah, kind of.
and then
And
we
then
see.
the infantry tab here, AGL. Still think the infantry team is very valuable because it's fairly cheap. You can put it in a building, and then I also bring it with the AGL BTR or BMR in this case.
Hmm.
I guess it's a little overpriced for 40 points,
I think it's
but
way
it's still very good.
overpriced. Yeah, I think it's
Uh,
way overpriced.
the thing is, it is fast and it has smoke. So those are very valuable to have.
True. Very
Um,
true.
and it still has an AGL, so that's always great to have. Then the guy boy, the thing that became the meme of this division, obviously.
Yes.
I take a double vet because at some point Stahl told me that you'd get 5 at vet 1 and 4 at vet 2. I always assumed it would be 3, but it's 4, and
Yes.
so I don't
Yep.
think there's any reason to not take a double vet because you will never need like one more that will win you the game. While double vet makes it just so much better.
And the fact that these can
Um,
go in buildings is insane.
exactly, yeah, that's also very valuable to have. Um, Also, you have to remember that this division doesn't have man pads, so
Yep.
I kind of want to maximize the AA guns I can have because that's all I have against helicopters more or less.
Yeah, it's a
And then
struggle.
just the standard C90 infantry, C90 absolutely great AT launcher. I take both cards of the Zapadores with the yeah, actually both cards that are even in this division
Hmm.
because they're now very strong. I think that's also not really really debated. They're just an extremely good squad. I take all
Yes.
of them in the M113s, all of the infantry squads, because I just love 50 cals first of all,
Okay.
and second of all, um, it's just I feel like I already I don't need the infantry on the front line too quickly most of the time with this division. I don't know why. It's just a feeling. And I just would like to have more fire support because you don't have IFVs for it in this division. So you have to kind of get your fire support from somewhere else. And the Milan 2, of course. In the Milan
Yeah.
1 transport, just again, more ATGMs because you don't have IFVs with ATGMs.
It's very funny that you bring the 50 cal because I always thought that as well, but I do have a lot of people that have told me that the 50 cals are not worth speed and the speed and the cost of the 20 points. That they'd rather just do the transport. I'm like, yeah, 20 points and 20 points, like you said, you get up to the front line. I'd rather have something for fire support. So it's very interesting that you also bring in the 50 cals as well. I feel like it's necessary.
Mm.
And then the Arty tab here. Got
Yeah, I
standard
mean the
mortar.
mortars are always nice to have,
Mm-hmm.
especially now with the teardown time that is
Mm-hmm.
a lot faster for mortars. They are quite survivable. You can use them for smoke, which is important if you fight a division that has heavy tanks or super long range ATGMs. The M108s are now just super nice to have, especially because you get two of them at double vet, which in my opinion is honestly kind of insane.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Um, yeah, and the two M110s. I know some people don't take those anymore because they think they're like overpriced, or I guess not as valuable as other artillery pieces anymore. Uh, but I still think they're great just because of the potential to delete heavy tanks if your enemy doesn't pay attention for like even, I don't know, a minute or two. So I still value them a lot. 25,000 thousand meter range is not the greatest, but it's still very good. So
Yeah,
I will still, I think I take them in every deck where you can take them.
yeah, interesting. A lot of people also are looking back into the HERD. Are you not seeing any interest in these or no?
No, I see the reasoning here, but the problem is it just I feel like I haven't tested it or looked into it, but I feel like it eats a lot more supply.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it is very valuable, you would need more supply, and
Yep.
then it also reloads forever. So once your salvo is gone, you have to reload for like what 3 minutes or something.
Mm-hmm.
While for the M110, no, it's like 81 seconds. With veterans, you want even less. So
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like not 130 seconds, but that's still quite long. So nah, I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
that's a 2 pointer. Okay.
Mm.
Tank
On the
tab
tank tip, I
here.
think yeah, very standard for this division. Two command tanks, the BMR with the TOW 2, which just slaps, and it's very important if you fight something like T55s because the TOW 2 can one-shot T55 Ace. Um, although T55 Ace aren't as abundant anymore in the meta, but still very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Then all the EM2s because they are absolutely great, and then one card of the AMX30Es just because I want a little more tanks, and that's the only other tank you get. Take them
Yeah,
a
I'm
double
amazed you
vet.
only have one card here. That's interesting.
Yeah, because I want to have the activation points for other stuff,
Yeah, and this is on the
and
HE too. Forgot about that
exactly
part.
I
Yeah.
or heat, yeah, and I just don't feel like I need more of them. They are basically for the early game or
Mm-hmm.
for some anti-infantry fire support once again. Even though obviously the EM2 is better because it gets the double 50 cal,
Yes.
but the
Yes.
30E gets the coaxial 50 cal, which has the insane accuracy, which makes it, which gives it just an insane DPS. So it's kind of still okay. And yeah, that's also one of the reasons why this kind of a high grade 25E, because you actually do more anti-infantry damage than the AMX 30 B2s,
Yeah.
but you have to get closer.
Right.
But you do have higher DPS, so I think that's also a great thing to have. And I think they're also faster off-road or something, but I might be misremembering that.
Interesting. Interesting. Interesting thought process.
But they definitely have higher accuracy on their main gun,
Yeah.
the statue.
Massive.
Yeah, and that
And
is
and the
quite
max
important.
range too. So.
Yes, but the B2s also have max range, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then recon tab for this game, I still had both Hinetas zero vet. I then went back and took one of them at vet 1 for the opener as like a kind of forward deployed combat squad. But
Why is
they
that?
are mostly still there for the C90. The reasoning here is that you still want to contest the early game forward deployed, not
Mm-hmm.
as aggressively because there aren't airborne forward deployed, um, but you still want to contest it to some degree because you have the recon tanks and also the VEC 25s, and the Hinetas are very important as a screening force for those vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then having like just a few of them vet 1 helps them out quite a bit to just stay in the fight a little bit longer, or even take the fight against some infantry on their own. Though I would say that this mostly shouldn't happen, but even then. Also gives them higher accuracy on the C90, which is always great. And I think
Right.
everything else also is just fairly standard. Some people take the Santana Rasura, the exceptional recon Jeep.
Hmm.
Um, the thing is, I just have to babysit it too much, and like as you said, I play with my brain because my micro is just not that great. I just can't keep it alive for the life of me. I don't know. I If you have very good micro, then you probably should take it. I can't use it. I'm too bad. So I would
Yeah,
rather
neither
have
can I.
the recon tab that I built together. Cheap recon headies for the opener as well, standard,
Hmm.
which will come in handy this game, as you will see.
Yep, yep. And then standard typical recon tank. The AA tab, one of the struggles in this is not having the man pads like you discussed. So we got two
Yeah, and
unloaded
I have to
guns.
say, I never really struggled that much with it, unless you play an Apache division against somebody who's like really, really good and
Yeah,
keeps their Apaches far back. Honestly, I don't think that's that bad, especially now after the Bofors buffs. Like, you have an actually good Bofors that you can take double with easily because you have quite a lot of AA anyway.
yeah,
Then the Toad Gepard gun that can't even be seeded anymore because it doesn't even have the radar trait. Before it, I mean, it technically also couldn't be seeded because the seed missiles would hit it, but they wouldn't do any damage because they
right.
only do damage against armor targets. But now it's just it is even like physically unseatable while still being a Gepard gun, so insanely good against planes just as much as against helicopters.
Yeah,
The Roland 2, which also isn't seatable once again, um, and the the Toledo, which is seedable but has eye accuracy. The thing is, I have this in my division, and then I rarely even take them, or buy them in game. But I
right.
still want to have them just in case I would come up against like some insane air spam, because then they would still be useful, especially
Hmm.
because they have 2 more damage compared to the Roland 2
Yep.
and are not manually guided, which helps quite a bit. But yeah, most of the time I don't even bother taking them or like bringing them, buying them in the game, because the Roller 2s and the Gepard guns take care of everything else anyway. So unless you go against some high level player who micros their Apaches very well, you should be good to go.
Pretty,
Helicopter tab, yeah.
pretty standard.
Uh, yeah, then make sure to take the gun helicopters double vet because that
Yeah.
astronomically buffs their DPS for
It's
I don't know why the vet curve there is so insane, but it is. So you basically have to take them double vet or you're just throwing the game.
You're also
And I
never
always like to
using
have,
six. You're always using
yeah,
four.
exactly,
So why not?
exactly. And then
Limited runs
have
up.
the ATGM helicopters as well because they're
Yeah.
always useful to have. And 22 AP is still good, it's just the accuracy is a bit lacking.
Right. Almost
Yeah.
double that might be
Yeah, the thing is for the ATGMs is not as important because they're just there to bully people basically. So
right.
in my opinion,
Screening.
it's better to have more of them.
Interesting.
No.
And then the air tab. The
So you see, I
HE.
take the HE plane, yeah, exactly. The thing is, I think it's quite alright. Like, it does its job. It can't kill, I think, like something like Spetsnaz or KDA in a building, probably. But it also isn't that expensive, 185 points. Um, and you can still use it to quickly bomb out some ATGMs, for example, or
Hmm.
some command infantry squads, which tend to be on the smaller side. And because I don't have that big of an infantry tab, and I also don't have that many tanks, I kind of still want to have it. And I know a lot of people just take 2 of the AT planes,
Mm.
which I get it, but they're also very expensive. And sometimes you just need that quick, cheap HE bomber. Um, it's rather niche, but I still want to have it because I don't think I ever had a brunette game where I wished I would have had 4 AT planes.
Yeah, I would agree with
Mm,
that.
so kind of I know I just don't need it. And then the 2 cards of F-18 fighters or C-15 technically, but we all know it's a Hornet. Um, I think it's also very standard. Back in the day, I used to run 1 Hornet and 1 Phantom, but especially with the air spam meta right now, you just need the best
Yeah.
fighters you can get and as many of them. So yeah, I run the 2 Hornets. Have the worst aim 7, unfortunately, but
Yep.
it's the best you can get, so you have to take it.
Yeah. A lot of time. people don't bring this anymore either because that has no gun for the anti-heli. So there's no, you have a really hard time with any type of strafing in this division against helis. So,
Yeah, exactly. So that's also one downside, and
yep,
so you just tend to go with the two cards of the F-18s.
that makes sense. Well, I appreciate that deck review. Let's get into the game. All right, so playing against the most notorious Axis second German, it's very well known that he's just a spammer at this div. It's his favorite div. Coming into this game, what are you thinking?
Well, the game before I had to play against Alba Soldier playing Östre, and obviously I was completely destroyed because this division is insanely overpowered. So I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't exactly happy to have to face Axis as second Pentagram right after that. Um, I think on the stream I even said that this is definitely going to be the last game of the stream because I will not be able to play another game after that. And the thing is, I know more or less how Axis will open because it plays the same every game, which
Okay.
I mean, don't play hate the player, hate the game, as I always say. It
Right.
makes sense because it is the most effective tactic, but it is kind of annoying. So I know that there will most likely be a blob of a few martyrs and leopard ones, and some air defense, and also mostly Fuchs Razit coming down one road, and then the rest will be lightly defended. And also he will probably buy all of his Zwillinge or most of them, so the Tode A guns,
Mm-hmm.
in the opener, um, and spread them around everywhere. So the thing is, I think on this map, the center is the most important part, and I think also most people do agree with me here. Going for the flanks is like cool, but mostly the player that goes for the flanks too heavily loses the game because he will get pushed off the hill, and then pushing back onto the hill is borderline impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you do, you need to keep at least a foothold on the hill, or you will lose. So that's why I wasn't sure whether he will go with the leopard slash martyr blob onto the flank, which would make the most sense engagement wise, or whether he will go for it into the center, which would make the most sense point wise. Then obviously
Okay.
he also has the forward, like the airborne forward deployed with the
Right.
Fallschirmjäger and the Fallschirmjäger Aufklärer. So I have to watch out for that, meaning that I can't deploy too aggressively myself. I mean, you rarely can against airborne divisions, but here you just really have to be careful about that. And then also he has Luxes that he can send around my flank. So you can see I
Gotcha. I
have
got the
one VEC
Vex.
25 on the left flank
Mm-hmm.
and one VEC 25 on the right flank. Because I don't want some random Lux in my backline killing off my artillery. That would be very painful. And so as you can see, I deploy with two AMX 30s into the town.
Mm-hmm.
The AMX 30 recon tanks it is. Because I thought that they do have the great fire support. They do still have a decent gun, which lacks range, but in the town it shouldn't be that important, or like not that much of a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this close range
And
is
yeah, exactly. It's very rarely that you will get a max range engagement. And then the
right.
two recon squads again as a screening force for the tank, so that he doesn't get like a random Fallschirmjäger or Fallschirmjäger Aufklärer to sneak through my line and snipe them, because that would be quite annoying. And we are light defense on the left side, because I really don't think that he would push through the left. Only one command. I don't think starting double command on this map
Yeah, it's only a
makes
1-2
a lot of
pointer. I
sense.
agree.
Yeah. Then also you can see two of the Zapadores because for the town, because they are absolutely great with their submachine guns and with their AT launcher. The AT launcher isn't great, but it's just it makes it impossible for him to just drive onto them with martyrs. He will have to stay at range.
Right.
While they can delete all of his infantry in close range fighting, except for the Pioneer Flamme.
Yeah.
Those will defeat them because they
Ev-
have the Handflammenpatrone.
Yep. Very
But
annoying to
otherwise,
deal
they
with.
should defeat every infantry he has. And
Yeah, and this is why the 50
for
cal
the
truck is needed, in my opinion. The 50 cal truck and this exact type of map to help with this fire support with different lanes is absolutely necessary.
yeah, exactly, and you can also still use it to kind of create a target-rich environment for ATGMs and stuff like that.
Yep.
So ATGMs might miss target, or like not miss target, but go for the M113 instead of the AMX30, for example.
Right.
It's a little bit more of an advanced tactic that I rarely use myself, but you can technically do it, and I think it's just it's always good to have the opportunity to do it rather than not have the opportunity to do it. And I think I start with double Roland 2, or do I start with only one Roland 2? Well, we will see shortly. You can see I have 3 of the VEC 25s on the right side, because like one is going for the far right, so the road on the edge of the map, and the other 2 are going for the point itself, because I still wanted to have some defenses there in case he does some fast opener. Oh yeah, exactly, because the last time or the like time before the last time I played him, he had like a Luke's blob going somewhere.
Really?
And
Interesting.
yeah, and so the 2 VEC 25s should be good enough to stop a Luke's blob. And there I was like very sure if he does a Luke's blob, he will do it on the right flank.
Okay.
And yeah, the 2 VEC 25s should have no problem dealing with that, because they have the like vastly superior autocannon. And then also one just infantry recon squad and a Milan 2 to stop him at range. And yeah, I did go for only one of the Roland 2s and the AGL weapon team. Yeah. Because I also know that he almost always buys in the Harriers first or second tick, the Harrier bombers.
Bombers, yeah.
He used to start with the F4 HE bomber, but he doesn't do that anymore. So I wanted to be ready for that. And so here, the scout helicopter, you can see that's why it's so valuable, because I instantly see the blob and where it's going. And that is invaluable. That's, I think, one of the best things Skific ever like did, or like told people, that those helicopters can literally win you the game just by the sheer amount of early information you get. And there is in fact still the airborne forward deployed into the town, but I was ready for it, so I can stop him in his tracks, and the Fallschirmjäger stand no chance against the double Zappadores. The Jinetes don't really stand a chance because they lack the shock trait, but the Zappadores obviously have the shock trait, so that's a fair fight again. And then here the engagement starts, but unfortunately I didn't know that he would have the smoke mortar, and then obviously I didn't know that he, or like, I didn't know, I couldn't like defend my whole front with the Roland 2, and so he went for the flank where I didn't have the EA, and so the Harrier HE bomber just gets through and kills me. And yeah, the VEC 25s also naturally didn't stand a chance against the Leopard blob, though they did kill the Gepard, which was cool. But now also,
you're capitalizing the movement here. You're also, you understand where his points were being spent, and so you're reacting that too efficiently.
Because I knew that if I, as I said, if you lose the hill, it's very hard to push on it again. So I decided to try to get as much of an advantage on the hill as I can get. I didn't think I would get him completely off the hill. Yeah, that was very unfortunate. But at least I could put a lot of pressure on him, kill a few units here and there. Especially those Pioneer Carl Gustav, you only get 5 of them at that one, so killing them off is very, very nice. And also a Pioneer Flam there as well, so if I can kill them now, that would be super good. And yeah,
makes sense. How can I not see? How can I not see that? That's very interesting.
I think it just it's always some line of sight fuckery with those units. I almost lose the Jinetes, but I noticed just in time. Yeah. Also bought in the second Roland 2 for the center, because you really want 2 of them. One of them isn't going to do anything, but if you have 2 of them, they will be able to do the job most of the time. Also buying in the artillery already, because I also noticed.
Why'd you do that so early?
Because I know that his strategy mostly is gain an early advantage and then sit on your ass. That's all of his games. He gets an early advantage, then he sits on his ass, and then he smokes some commands into your zone like 1 or 2 times to get an advantage that's just big enough. Or he wins in the early game and just rushes you out of the game. That's also possible. But if he doesn't do that, it's going to be a long game where he's going to use a lot of artillery and smoke plays. Well, some call it smokes coming. We all call it smokes coming in the heat of the battle. At the end of the day, it is in the game. It is a strategy that you can use.
If somebody does it to you, it's smokes coming. If you do it to them, you're 200 IQ.
Exactly, yeah. But the thing is, I know that he will do it, so I might as well buy the artillery now and get my value early on from it.
Unlucky.
Yeah, I didn't. I think I noticed it, but I thought it was going for a different target or something. I can't remember. So yeah, smoke it off and retreated. And you can see now he already has billions of reinforcements in the town, just because 2nd Panzergrenadier can reinforce so quickly. Harrier goes in and bombs the AMX-30. Unfortunately, the Roland 2s shoot 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah, but only hit once.
Unlucky.
That was kind of unfortunate. Yeah, 60% accuracy, also so close range. Accuracy is, well, not stacking, but scaling accuracy should give them a good chance to it, but it didn't. Oh well. It do be like
Yeah.
that sometimes.
So we're a little light up here now. We pushed a little bit, and it looks like we got penalized for it, especially how much
Exactly.
we're buying on the right-hand side. So, looking at this right now, are you feeling confident with your points, or were you thinking that's going to be your downfall unless you get it reinforced right?
I was feeling a bit naked in the town, but I had reinforcements coming in. Also, I did very dumb, like idiotically lose the recon tank on the right side because there was like 2 leopard 1A1A1s in the forest. And I don't know why, but I just kind of forgot that the recon AMX30 has less range at that point in time. So that was a bit unfortunate. So I was getting worried because if I wouldn't be able to push back into the right side, I would be in big trouble. But if I am able to push back in there, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
He already has a Milan 2 there, which is very bad because I think they can one-shot my tanks, or most of my tanks at least.
So why are we also prioritizing the mortar instead of guarding these tanks over in the tree line over here? What's the thought behind
because
that?
his mortar can just make all my ATGMs useless, and that is very problematic. I also, I kind of wanted to see whether this can kill a Panzermörser in Counter Battery. Well, fun fact, it can't.
Yep.
I thought it couldn't, but I thought you might. I might as well try, because maybe it can, and then I will know something new. But yeah, on its own, it can't. Maybe 2 of them together are able to, but outside of corrective shot range, their spread is kind of bad. So yeah, that wasn't the best use case. You're right. I should have used it on the forest, but.
Well, I don't even know if I'm right or wrong. I'm just trying to get your mindset of it all. I don't know what the right.
Well, I mean,
is.
but still, it wasn't the most effective use of the unit. But I really wanted to get rid of the stupid smoke mortar because it was making it really hard for me to fight there.
The guy boy is just annihilating that. Wow.
Yeah, but he was able to get it out in time. But because his leopards are now retreating, that gives me time to push my infantry up. And if I get them into the building, that means that he will have to get out of the forest because of their insane AT launcher.
Yep.
And they will also kill the Milan 2 off very quickly. But I did unfortunately lose one of the Sabliers, which is a very painful loss because you only get 5 of them and they're very, very good.
They're the tank you ever have to rely on in this div.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm doing a big mistake here because I'm reinforcing the center with only infantry. And I should have really mixed it up with infantry and tanks.
I was going to say, he's got the Milans, right? And you got to have something to be able to hit them from range.
Exactly, yeah, and especially because they have the gun and the double 50 kill. Like, there's just no downside to taking those. And yeah, you can see there's a lot of stuff there.
Nice.
And even more leopards coming in.
Now this is 200 IQ. A lot of people don't know what you're doing there. Hopping in and out, getting that reload, and getting back in to get those kills without getting stunned and knocked down. That is high-level play there.
Oh yeah, because I mean, I knew that he has a blob there, and otherwise, like, I will just die. And I needed to get the maximum out of this unit because I lost a Sablier, so I was already super behind on that flank. And as I said, I need to get this flank because the center wasn't looking too great either. Yeah, that went well.
Unloaded just in time for him.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate, but he unloaded in the face of a 40 mil grenade launcher and a guy boy, so it's not the worst. And yeah, here I think I forgot to move my artillery, or I didn't move it fast enough, so yeah, it dies. That was a bit of a skill issue. Those 6 salvo length artillery, you kind of can't afford to fire them full salvo because they just can't move out in time. Even if it's an SPG with the faster teardown time, it won't get out in time.
I also see that we're playing the backside of these buildings until we need to pull up. Very smart, very smart.
I'm also waiting for the other unit to recover its cohesion because it got stunned quite badly. And you only get 4 shots with the C90. So even though it's super good, like once they're out of AT launchers, they will just sit there and get wrecked by the leopards. So I really want to make it count as much as I can. Yeah, now I think they will die because I didn't micro them out in time because yeah, I was paying attention to the center. Yeah,
I was about to say, you can only micro so much, and this push, like you're saying, looking back at it, you could have bought some more tanks here, but also we need the tanks here, and we're losing a little bit, probably more tanks than we would like everyone else right inside. to be discussed.
Exactly. Now a Sablier is coming in, but of course I just now bought it, so it will take quite some time until it arrives on the front line.
Right.
But the Guy Boy is doing good work against his Pioneers, and killing them off is super important because they are his best squads for fighting in the town, because the big weakness of the West German infantry is close range fighting. Also, that was, by the way, very lucky that the Harrier kind of spread its bombs weirdly and Roland 2 survived, but I think that's poetic justice for the fact that it didn't die the first time it flew into 2 Roland 2s.
Yeah, I think it also got I think it got evac, and that's why it didn't have to drop its whole load, it looks like.
Maybe that as well, but either way, that did save my ass quite a bit.
And now we're pushing on the right-hand side. Are we just trying to push him out of here to secure the spot, or are we trying to make a whole flank around on the side here?
Honestly, I wasn't really thinking about that, because I don't have anything secured on this side, and pushing up the hill with tanks is basically a death sentence, as long as there's like one squad with AT there. Because obviously, like, that's the perfect ambush position, because you cannot get long-range line of sight on them until you're over the hill, and then you just die. And he has the Fallschirmjäger and the Fallschirmjäger Aufklär with the Panzerfaust 3, which I think even one-shots my tanks. So yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. I just wanted to get it back, and then use the M113s to see like how far up I can get, to see where his units are. But other than that, now I really need to center back.
Yeah, there's this Milan is just spam is absolutely devastating you.
Exactly.
I like this. Can we smoke this in time again? Unlucky. We were getting.
Yeah, I noticed a little too late. It was very unfortunate because that recon tank actually vetted up to vet 2, as you saw.
Yep.
And I really like keeping those hero units alive, but unfortunately I didn't react in time. So
can't do everything perfect all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's gonna get stunned here. No, it didn't get stunned. Nice. Gonna smoke out. Yeah, this Milan spam is just wild. And then you got that Artie.
Yeah, the Martyrs are just a real issue here. Yeah, and that was very well targeted by him.
Yeah.
I didn't move it away in time, and because of the forest, it already moves slower. It's low cohesion, so yeah, it just dies. Yeah.
So right now, how confident are you feeling about this game?
Well, in this moment, I honestly felt kind of bad, because I also, you see, he sniped one of my Roland 2s with, I think, a Leopard or a Martyr or something, or even infantry, whatever, it's that. So my A has been sniped, most of my infantry has been killed. I only have 1 tank here. I mean, in general, look, I really don't have that many units in the center, while he still has, like, a plethora of Martyrs there. My 1 tank is even damaged and low cohesion. So I really wasn't feeling too great about this game at that point in time.
Yeah, looking at this, do you think we could have rotated some of these away, or do you think you needed to really hold this with as much as you have here?
I will be rotating them at some point. I think that will happen fairly soon, but I might be lying. I might be misremembering. But I did definitely rotate them, and not too long after that, because you can see I have the Guy Boy there now, I have a BMR, I have 2 Roland 2s there as well, and an infantry squad, so like the right flank is like more or less defended now. Especially because he will now have to push over the open field to get back into the zone.
Yep.
So it should be, yeah, it should be safe enough. So I will rotate them at some point. Yeah, I thought those were M110s, but it turns out those were just the Toad 155s. The thing is, normally he always played with M110s back in the day.
Yep, I do remember that about him.
And I mean, because everybody did that. And I didn't see him use the 155s yet, so I was sure that would be the 203s, and also because they hit like a truck, and I don't know, I just thought surely those are the M110s, but turns out that they were just 155s, and I could have counter batteried him the whole time, but oh well.
Yeah, we're only attacking 1 at a time here, so we're getting the mortar here. Artillery has
because the M110 is good enough to, or should be good enough to counter battery the mortar, even on its own. While the M108 is used to go for the Zwillinge, because they are very annoying and I can kill them rather quickly. And yeah, now finally I'm calling in some more tanks. Also, I killed his command there, which was very good, and you can see he's smoking his commands in and trying to gain an advantage that way, which he is succeeding at.
And we're packing up and moving this time.
Yeah, exactly. I did learn my lesson.
Pioneer Flames absolutely annihilating this. These are probably one of the best units in the game now.
Yeah, exactly. But no, actually, I'm annihilating him because he did the mistake of moving them, which meant that they weren't able to shoot their Handflammenpatrone, and now there's 3 AMX-30 EM2s with their, well, 6 50 cals firing at them.
650 cals at once with 55 accuracy. It's not a pretty sight for a Pioneer, man.
Exactly. And also, their Handflammenpatrone doesn't do that much damage against units in buildings. It still does the suppression, but it doesn't really do a lot of damage.
It's that tree line that they really get their advantage and shine.
Yeah, in forests they are just amazing. And in town fights they're also good, but there are also other units that can outshine them. Like, for example, the Zapadores.
So now it looks like we're mixing in a good amount, like you were talking about earlier. I wish you did. It looks like we're doing that now. Got a mixture of tanks and infantry coming in with the support we have. This Milan spam is absolutely annihilating with his ATGMs.
Yeah, also because the Milan ones, normally their downside is that they don't do a lot of damage, but because the AMX-30s have rather low armor, it's still doing significant damage, and obviously the stress damage on top of that is just very, very annoying to deal with.
Yep. We got a Leopard sneaking up on you on the side, too.
Yeah, that's what the recon tank in the forest patch would have been for, but unfortunately that has died already.
Also, these frustrate me. A 4 health, and tank guns hitting them, it has to hit them over and over and over for it to die. It blows my mind.
Yeah, the thing is, when they were considered vehicles, so where they could get one shot by tank guns and targeted by ATGMs, they were just too weak. So they changed it for it to be considered infantry. And then we had obviously the meta where those AA guns were basically undefeatable. Now it's better, but the Zwillinge is still very strong, though the biggest offender or the worst offender is still the towed pivots or the VATs, because that one has insane DPS. The Zwillinge is also still very annoying.
What a shot. Also, another 200 IQ. You were getting artied here, and you packed them up in the vehicles in order to keep them.
I noticed it very, very quickly, luckily, so yeah, I decided to quickly pack them up in the vehicle, because those Zapadores are very important, and because I wasted so much infantry early game, I really, really had to be careful with them now. Yep. And also why I was calling in so many tanks, because I was kind of forced to do it. Because I wasn't running out of infantry, but I was noticing that, hey, I'm kind of low on infantry and we still have like 20 minutes to go. Definitely. And because the early game didn't go too well for me, it will probably be a long game. So I need to be ready for that.
I also don't see much anti-air anymore right now. I'm only seeing the one AMX. Alright, here we go. Speak of the devil.
Exactly.
Speak of the devil.
That's also because he wasn't bombing me anymore at the moment, and I had like more pressing problems to deal with, like the Martyr and Leopard 1 spam. And now even the Command Leopard 2 and the Leopard 2A3 here is such a problem for me.
I was going to say, there's not much you can do to react to that and deal with that right now, especially using superior tanks in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. And it also, like, something killed my command tank. I think, yeah, it was the bullpup that you can see circling, like, floating in the back. And I completely missed that. I was so focused on the ground units that I completely missed the fact that he had a recon helicopter and an AT helicopter circling there. I was assuming that the ATGMs I was seeing were coming from, like, more Martyrs or something. And that was a big mistake on my side that I didn't notice it in time.
I'm also noticing a lot of satchels and not many ATGMs on these infantry squads mixed in.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have ATGMs with the infantry squads, you just have the Milan 2s. And the Milan 2s in the town are just kind of susceptible to the Martyrs. So I wasn't too happy to use them in the town. And yet, look again, the tank gets sniped. And I was so confused, because I was like, surely I didn't get one-shot by a Milan 1. And then, yeah, unfortunately, it will take still a bit of time until I noticed that, oh yeah, there's a Bopa in the back sniping away at all my tanks, and that was so dumb.
Right. Yeah, no, I misspoke. We're talking about the anti-tank rockets. There's
the AT launchers.
Yeah.
Because the push before was quite infantry heavy, I decided to bring in more of the Zapadores, but yeah, then I kind of the thing is, I thought I would have the Zapadores and the tanks backing them up, but then I lost a few of those tanks very unnecessarily, so the Zapadores were kind of left unsupported anti-tank wise. So yeah, that was just mismicro on my side.
And then this looks like both sides are backing up. We lost some of our tanks over here that we didn't like, but a lot of his tanks are significantly damaged. So it looks like
Yeah.
both sides are backing up to refit and recoup.
Because he doesn't need to stay in, because he's on a +1 tick anyway, and also on a point tick anyway. So there's no point for him to just have his tanks on the front line dying to some random AT side shots, because for him it's kind of the other way around. He still has all of those tanks, but not enough infantry to screen them. And he knows it perfectly well, and he knows that I have hard-hitting AT launchers, so the best thing for him is to retreat and wait until more infantry comes in.
I also just noticed it's triple doubled.
Yeah, I think that's because of the command, but even on its own it would be double vet, and that's very painful.
Yeah. So at this point right here, what is our mindset? Wow, and we're getting dude already on you again.
Oh yeah, at this point I wasn't sure whether he was stream sniping me, because I was dumb and I didn't notice the goddamn Regal helicopter that was there in the backline. That was constantly spotting me, because he was like targeting my tanks perfectly. He wanted to bomb something, but yeah, didn't get through because he had the tornado fighter. It was a bit unfortunate, but I do at least get into the zone.
What do you think about the trades right now? Are you trading heavily negative? Are you trading pretty even, you think?
I think objectively I was trading equally, but it felt to me like I was trading horribly, because that's always how you feel when you fight second Pentagon, or at least how I feel when I fight second Pentagon. It's just I always feel like I'm trading horribly because there's just so many units coming at you. So I was really feeling like I was massively behind.
56 Ya. I always feel like 56 Ya never runs out of stuff.
Yeah, 56 Ya used to be that. I don't think it's as good anymore because of the whole high altitude bomber meta, where they can't really do that much against. But yeah, they obviously still have a shit ton of stuff, that's true. But you just never even see them in rank anymore, so I can't even say.
The blob pushing in, taking the damage back and back out.
And the Zafadoras have an AT launcher, but it isn't that good. Like it's nice to do some stress damage, but it's not going to do any damage against Leopard 2's frontal armor, at least.
That side shot, though.
Yeah, that was important. That's also where the Leopard 1A1A1s would have been better than the Leopard 1A5s, because obviously the Leopard 1A5s pay more for the max range gun that they really can't use in this case anyway. And yeah, here I tried to call in the AT plane to kill his tanks, but then he had his fighter up circling, and the fighter unfortunately kills me.
Yeah, these rolling
So that was honestly very bad, because yeah, that was a very expensive buy and didn't do anything but the Roland 2 hits, and now the Gepard gun will do its magic.
Nice. Nice, we get a trade in our favor.
Yeah, so even though I lost the AT plane, at least something went my way.
Right.
But of course, he's still smoking. I am afraid that he will just bum rush some infantry through here. So you see, I'm retreating my tanks before they get wrecked.
Yeah, that 2A3 is going to be hard for you to answer. We also bring the
if I would have
next to
still have the two M108s, I could target them with the double M108, but the one M108 is just too bad.
No, yeah.
I have the double 203s, but I think they were reloading. That's why I'm not using them right now, because it ran out of ammo.
But we also got the command next to them. We got them triple vetted now.
Yeah. Oh, I always have them vetted. I also used to always have a command near them when they still had their free vet, because at vet 2 they were just insane wipe machines. And now with the command nearby at vet 1, they're still very strong, but obviously not the be-all end-all as they were back in the day. And I mean rightfully so, because it was just boring. Anytime a division had an M110, it was basically already like one tier above what it normally would be.
That's massive. It didn't seem like massive, but that cuts off a lot of fire support on that right-hand side.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I went for it, because those modders are such a pain in the ass that I need to get rid of them anytime I can. And now I finally do bring in a Milan too, because I thought that I might as well. They don't have the best line of sights, but they do still have line of sight. And if he doesn't pay attention even once, that Milan 2 can do so much damage against him.
Yep.
Yeah, the HE bomber unfortunately getting instantly killed by an Ihawk plus Gepard combo, which is one of the strongest combinations in the whole game, AA-wise. It's very, very good.
We're going for the back line here. Do we get the kills?
I think they do get some kills, but I'm not sure whether we will be able to see them here.
And then do we get the Ihawk?
I highly doubt the M108, because you can see, without corrected shot, the spread is really, really rough on them.
Ridiculous. At this
Which is why
point,
you
we're
really
still,
want to have two of them.
yeah, yep, two of them together. With the tick continuously going against you right here, how nervous are you right now into this game? What are we?
I'm quite nervous because Surrounded is a fairly slow ticking map. You do have the +2 zones in the back, so
Right.
there is at least the possibility of getting a high tick going. But getting to the back zone takes quite some time, especially against a division like 2nd Panzergren with like the sheer amount of units. But I still have 40 minutes left, so it's not the end of the world, but I was getting worried. And you can see there's a blob of Fallschirmjäger moving up through the center, through the smoke. So that was worrying. And yeah, once again, he's perfectly targeting my tanks because he has a recon helicopter in the back. Or, no, actually, I think that's because the Fallschirmjäger, because I checked it afterwards, right? The Fallschirmjäger were in the building. And the building was smoked. But because the smoke and the building line of sight interact in a very weird way, they were actually still able to see, even though it was technically smoked, and they saw the tank.
Very, very interesting.
So yeah.
And
But I saw him move up, so I am slowly trying to move back and not get my unit sniped. Yeah, the Gepper gun there now gets killed by the artillery, which is very sad, because they are very, very good. But you have to watch out, they run out of ammo quite quickly because they have such an insane rate of fire.
yeah, also not getting that counter battery. If you can kill his arty, you'll be so much better.
Yeah, but the thing is, I thought those were M110s, so I wasn't even paying attention to them because I thought surely he would be moving them, and then only after the game I realized, well, damn, those were total 105s. I could have gone to bed with them the whole game.
Yeah, hindsight 2020 always, right?
Yeah, exactly. But here I killed 2 of the Fallschirmjäger squads with 1 Zapadoris, so that was very nice.
Yeah, that was beautifully placed. I was wondering why you weren't moving up enough, and then I realized that open space right there that he had to push through, so I was quite smart to keep it there.
Also, I was waiting for it to get repaired, because 3 Fallschirmjäger, that's still quite scary if he uses them stationary, and I push into him. They can still do a lot of damage against me, so why would I move into him if he's already moving into me, right? Like, that's just making life harder for me. That's not the point of that. And here you can see I'm rotating the command tank out of the center point again, because I was actually running low on commands at this point.
I was gonna say, yeah, you got the one command back here, and that's about it.
Yeah. I think I have like 1 or 2 commands left in the deck, and that's it. Yeah, and you can see the HE bomber comes in and bombs the command that's not there anymore. So it was actually a very, very good choice to do that.
Definitely. Very smart.
And once again, the Roland 2 and Gepard combo to delete the Harrier. That made me very happy.
Will it pay off again? Most likely not, but...
No, that's an M108. It was the M108 firing at the tanks. There, I knew I wouldn't kill them. It was basically just there to annoy him and to suppress the tanks, so they would stay out of the fight longer. Because, yeah, time is running low, and I kind of just need him to be out of the fight as long as possible with whatever I can do. And you can see now I'm just kind of blobbing up my tanks and going for the left side, because I was just getting stuck there. I couldn't push through for the life of me. So I thought that I might as well just try to go around the left flank, because I didn't see a lot of units from his side moving there as well. So I should be like... It's still a risk, but I have to take some risk at this point in the game. And I assume that this would be the risk with the highest payoff that I could get.
Right, okay.
Especially because I know that the one command Leopard 2A3 is on the right side, and 1 or 2 other tanks are also there. And if it's just Leopard 1A5s, like the AMX-30s are very good against Leopard 1A5s, because even like the B2s of the French, because I think they cost the same, but the AMX-30 is just, I mean, it is better against infantry, and I think it even has a better gun, but I'm not entirely sure about that.
These crates here are going insanely in your favor. Stacking
exactly.
them together have been working very well for you.
And because I know that he doesn't have a cluster bomber, I can do that and feel pretty good about it. At least I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a cluster bomber.
Right. Getting this entire flank down, controlling the side.
Yeah, now I see something coming in, and there I saw the transport, and I instantly knew this is going to be the Fallschirmjäger Aufklärer, so you can see I'm instantly moving back as fast as I can. I should have probably also just used smoke on one of those, but...
How did it get a second kill there?
Wow. I'm not sure how it got the second shot off so fast, but it did. I was also surprised by that, quite frankly.
Yeah, that... It was
not exactly happy.
Out of the building! That was very interesting.
But, it is what it is.
No. unlucky again.
It's because it's the AMX-30E with the heat gun. That's why it can't one-shot the martyr even at close range, because it obviously doesn't get higher damage at short range.
That makes sense. That makes sense. A small little
But at least I'm at a +1 tick right now.
Yep. 9 minutes left, +1.
Which I think would be enough to win. Oh yeah. I came here to bomb the Panzergrenadier. I didn't notice that it was like on 1 HP, but it did kill the recon helicopter on his way out, and that was actually very valuable.
Valuable, yeah. Yep. It probably cut his vision drastically.
Yeah.
Yeah, drastically cut his vision out.
Funnily enough, I'm seeing more than he does at this point, basically.
Yeah, now we really just gotta hope that we can get this pick off. Is this why you're buying this AT plane? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Because I was sniping his commands all day long. Because I know that he plays the game like this. He will always drive in his commands, and as long as you snipe them and stay in the game trades-wise as well, obviously, you can just come back late game because he will simply not have commands left. Yeah, that was a very lucky kill, by the way, by the aim 9 of the AT plane. And I mean, my best bet to kill the Leopard 2 is either the C90 side shots or the AT plane. And because I know it's a Leopard 2 A3, it dies one shot to the Mavericks even frontally.
Yep.
And so there I was obviously kind of lucky because it's I think a 55% accuracy Maverick, but I mean this happens from time to time, and in this case obviously he should have smoked off instantly the moment he saw this AT plane because, as I said, I don't even need a side shot. It will kill it one shot frontally as well. But he didn't do it in time, and now he flies over my AA with the Phantom. This time, unfortunately, the Roller 2 misses. But if it would have hit, you can see the tornado would have died.
Come on.
Those two also did. But at this point, I mean, killing the fighter isn't even that important. Like, as I said, the most important part is killing the commands, and I think I even killed all of the Harrier bombers at this point, so I'm kind of even okay with this fighter scaling out, you know.
Yeah, losing that toe here really did hurt.
Yeah,
we do have a little bit of tanks left that can hold down the line.
Well, the good thing is because I bought in... Yeah,
Wow.
the thing is because I bought in so much infantry early on, I kind of late game, I just had like half my tank tab left, but no infantry. It was, yeah, not well balanced.
The tank on tank fight here.
Yeah, but Leopard 1 is super low HP, so that will go in my favor. And the Leopard 2 is also low HP, low cohesion, so that was a fight that was absolutely not in his favor. And I think those two commands that are in the zone right now are also my last two commands.
Okay.
Or might have one left in reserve, but I was running low on them. And you can see I'm pushing for his back zone as well, because I wasn't sure whether a +1 would even be enough at this point, because it's only 7 minutes left.
Looks like we're running out of units. Now we're just spamming things out.
Oh yeah, I have one command in the back still. Okay, so there's at least one with the M110s. Here you can see I'm just Q moving, because the thing is also what Protoss always says: if you're losing the game, just Q move your units. Like if you don't, and then you survive, your units survive, but you lose the game, you're not getting anything from that. Right. So you might as well just Q move and try to like get through your enemy somewhere. Yeah, but at this point, I'm pretty sure he already typed that he ran out of commands himself. Okay. So the thing is, he will surrender soon, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 6 seconds.
Yeah,
I mean,
because he also doesn't have any units left on the field, I'm pretty sure, except for like his artillery or something. And
looking at this game, I did not think you were trading as well as you were.
Exactly. I didn't think so as well. I was so sure I was so far behind in trades, and then it just kind of collapsed at some point on his side of the front.
Yeah, losing that many tanks on that right-hand side in the beginning, and then losing that infantry, all that infantry to the martyrs. I really thought.
Yeah. And also the thing is, in the town fights, I didn't say it during the game because we didn't get to see it, but I was really making sure to move into close range fighting against his Panzer Grenadiers, because Panzer Grenadiers are very efficient units unless you go close range fighting, because then they lose basically 90% of their DPS.
Yep.
And so all of his Panzer Grens just died basically doing nothing, or most of them. And this robbed him of his screening force, and then I was able to kill all of his tanks in the long run. and that's how I was able to win the game.
Yeah, the Zapadoris are just gonna win every single time with his
Yeah,
SMGs, and then if you get him even closer, the Panzer Grenadiers are they're irrelevant. They might as
and
well
at
be
long
with
range,
the
I have the great
Hoosiers.
launchers.
Yeah, and the Gahi boys.
Yes, that as well.
Interesting. So we did get some pretty decent kills with that in 108.
Yeah, it did pay off in the end. Unfortunately, its early brother died,
Right.
and the M110 counter battery to mortars as well, and two of the big supply trucks, which is also very very
But
important because even if they were empty, that's like 60 points that he doesn't get back.
wow,
Yeah,
killing 185s, four of them.
as I said, the AMX-30 EM2s and also the B2s are just very scary for Leopard 185s
Right.
because they're basically the same price but just better.
Yeah, they did better than your Subliers.
Exactly.
And that crucial snipe at the end and the Harrier kill.
Yes,
Yeah, very
that
interesting. So,
really is. Well, it didn't seal the deal, but it massively helped out. Absolutely.
yeah, you can
But that's
also
how you
see.
know those weaknesses where Second Panzergrenade doesn't have a single tank that can survive a 30 AP missile from the front. They will
Mhm.
all die to the front, so you don't need to do this whole I'm flying around the flank to get a side shot with the ATGM or like the plain ATGM. You can just go all in frontally, and as long as it hits, of course, you will get the kill.
And I mean, also, I mean, to me, these TOAs, you're looking through here, it's nothing crazy, but I mean, they're putting in work, and that means that their damage and their fire support throughout the game as well. I mean, this one killed a Gepard.
Yeah, exactly.
This one killed Martyr. Like, they're spread out here where they're putting in work, and so looking back, even though there's not a giant amount of kills, the amount of fire support these were giving throughout that time in town is quite efficient.
Yeah, I just think that if you don't have IFVs, you really need them. I mean,
Yeah.
other top players don't take them, and I understand them because they really go for like tempo and
Hmm.
pressure. But I am not that good of a player with that because I say I'm a rather slow player, so I don't think there's a lot of sense for me. Sometimes I take one or two cards in trucks, for example, in 39 yaw, where you already
Hmm.
have more than enough fire support, just so you can have Motostroke coming in fast to the front line. But with the Spanish, for some reason, it just works out for me the way it is. So yeah, I just like to have all of those 50 kills being annoying, and the enemy still has to deal with them somehow, you know.
Right.
And basically, anything that can kill an M113 is more expensive than the M113 itself.
Yeah, exactly. Well, awesome. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your insight, Aim. Again, check out his channel, guys. He's got some great stuff for you. He also streams as well. So check out his live streams when he gets back into it. He's been a little busy, but he's going to be back at it soon enough. And I can't thank you enough, Aim, for your mindset and your gameplay here.
Well, thank you for having me, and also have a great YouTube channel. So for the people that haven't checked out all of your other videos, definitely do because there's a lot to learn, even for other apparently top players like me. So yeah, do it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.